Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chat from a Hat. I'm your host, Josh Brown, along with my co-host,
Caleb Luther.
Caleb. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. It's a Sunday. I forgot it was a Sunday.
It is a Sunday, and we
Forgot
normally
about it.
don't record on a Sunday, so this is rather weird, even though we recorded last week on a Monday.
Yeah.
So, Caleb, you know what? Like I said before to you in a message, we are, when there's a holiday that falls on a Monday now, we are just not going to record. We're just not going to do it.
Maybe not.
We're not going to do it. We're not
Maybe
going to do
not.
it. Well, thank you for joining us for this week of Chat from a Hat. Caleb, pick the topic for next week.
Gosh.
Caleb, what's been up with you? What have you been doing?
I spent the whole day recording some music. First time recording in a good while. I was on vacation and stuff, and gotta say, it was pretty bangerific.
Bangerific?
Yeah, it was.
Is that a term the new kids are using?
No, just
or
me.
something?
Just
Okay.
me. It's not going to catch on. It's not very good either.
It might catch on. You never know. You never know.
It could.
You
But
could.
I'm pleased with it. I'm eyeing maybe a potential early 2024 release. Because I got a little bit of collaborations.
2024. But
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen
so
this
far
year.
away.
I just don't think it's going to happen this year.
So far away.
It would be rushing if I tried to push for like a November or December release. I think so.
Well,
Yeah.
I think you're wrong on that. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not done. I'm not done recording, and I'm still the collaboration with another artist that
Okay.
I know. So
Okay.
it takes time to make something that's going to be at least a 3.5 out of 5.
It's going to be a 4 out of 5.
Well, let's hope.
400 out of 5.
How
6 out of 5 stars.
How's your weekend going?
Well, I went to, I know you don't usually discuss work on the show, but I will. I went to the 10th annual coal run yesterday. The coal dust run is what it was called. And it was a 5K, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of people came out. Got some pictures for the paper. Nancy took some pictures for her personal page. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Did you
watching.
run?
God, no. Actually,
I saw you with the backwards hat on.
yeah, well, I had forgot that I was going to have to take pictures, and usually when I take pictures, I don't like to wear a hat because
Yeah.
the bill of the hat
Yeah,
is in the way, so I just stuck it around to the back. And,
Good way to show off that Jimmy Eat World, because the Jimmy Eat World is on the back of the hat. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's funny is that I didn't sign up to run, but I ended up running because I had to run from where they were doing the coal dusting, which if you don't know anything about running, a dusting is when you run in a 5K, you run past something and they throw dust on you. They throw dirt on you. It's like not dirt, but it's like a colorful dirt to motivate you to run.
Really?
Yeah. So it's
I didn't know that.
in some of them they do like neon colors and stuff like that, but with this one being the coal dust run, it was black. It was black dust. And once the coal dusting was done, I had to run from where the coal dusting was happening all the way back to the starting line to get the finish of the race.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I didn't sign up to run, I ended up running.
Running a little
Yes,
bit.
and when I got back there, I was so out of breath I could barely take pictures.
Was that your running for the year?
That was my running for that was my running for the year. Well, I say that, but I've had to run like 7 times during doing this job, and quite frankly, I didn't sign up for that. I signed up to sit at a desk and do reporting, not
Very well.
running.
You better buckle up.
Better buckle up, buckaroo.
Got a lot more running where that comes from.
Caleb, last week we did a music trivia episode. No one listened to it.
That's not true.
It's not true. I'm being
not true.
facetious.
It's
not true.
It wasn't
A lot
as
of people-
successful as the movie trivia.
A lot of people. Well, and it's been out a day or two less too.
A day,
A day or two less.
a month or 5 less.
A month or 5 less. But go back and listen to that episode. It was a lot of fun, a lot of dead air because Caleb had to try and eat up time to figure out the answers to the questions instead of just
I think it paid off. So
I think it paid off.
whatever.
I think it paid off.
Whatever.
Anyway, you won. That's all there is to it, I guess.
Spoiler much.
I mean, people didn't listen to it anyway. So
They did. People told me themselves that they listened to it. Well, they were like they were even like I'm trying to think what it was. It was about the Weeknd, Blinding Lights, and you know what? I still have not found evidence that that's actually sampled from "Take on Me" by a-ha.
well,
I don't think it is.
I mean,
But I got the answer right because clearly the synth is inspired by that. But it's not the same. It's not the same riff at all. And it's not even remotely the same riff. It has a similar tone,
yeah.
but it's not the same. So
Yeah.
So
So,
whatever.
so what you're saying is that you technically still haven't won.
I got the question right, so it was whatever.
but the question was wrong.
According to the question wasn't wrong. It was just a question that probably shouldn't have
in
existed.
that regard, it would be 14-14 because I get the Joe Alwyn question.
No, actually,
so it's still 14-14.
Actually, I won by 2, so no, it would be 15-14.
No. You didn't. Yeah, you won by 2. The
15?
final score was 15-13,
Oh, so it would've
and
been
then
14.
you get the one taken away, and I get the Joe Alwyn question. Then it's 14-14.
Okay, whatever.
There's a
Whatever.
rematch brewing there, folks.
well.
There's a rematch brewing.
Maybe we'll find one that isn't quite as difficult.
It's quite as difficult.
Jeez,
yeah.
gosh.
Good lord.
Nancy
Nancy doesn't get to pick
I was a
them
bit
next time.
worried with the first 10, 10
Nancy
questions.
just don't get to pick. She just don't get to do that anymore.
It's tough.
So Caleb, you like moon pies?
No, not really. I like the banana ones, I think. But I
guess.
tried a chocolate one recently for the first time in a while, and it just it's not very good.
Caleb, I'll give you a nickel for that moon pie.
But I see that here we got
Name
a box.
that movie in the comments.
We got a box of
Minnie's mint chocolate moon
which
pies.
I didn't know existed.
I didn't know they existed either. I'm not a fan of moon pies.
You want me to try this?
You're going to try this on the air again. Apparently, this is our thing now. We just try.
Well, I've been
foods.
I guess I've been on a little bit of a mint chocolate kick here.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes.
There's also some fresh Andes mints
if
there
I could
as
get
well.
the daggone thing open.
Yeah, so Caleb's
Holy
gonna
cow! Okay.
pull. They're little mini
gosh.
ones. They look like little tiny.
Okay. Don't be surprised if I just take like a bite and then that's it.
Buddy, I don't care what you do.
I
with
just
it.
smelled it. I smell
It
a little.
smell-
I smell a little mint chocolate.
It smells like a tag along. Is what it smells
bit,
like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There you go. Have up.
Okay.
It tastes like a moon pie, don't it?
I mean, okay.
Nancy's not a fan. I'll go
All
ahead and
things
tell you that.
considered, if you put this in front of me or like the regular chocolate moon pie,
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather eat this.
Okay. Well, good. It means you can take them home with you.
I'm not going to because there's
Buddy,
not one part of me that wants to continue eating that.
They are going to go to waste if you do not take them
I don't
home.
want
and
them.
eat them. Will someone in your home eat them?
I don't think so.
Will someone someone at your work eat them?
Not many. I can take them to work
Do that then.
and
Take
just
them with
see
you to work.
and see what people
Do a
think.
social experiment.
I will.
Good. Do it.
Well, I'll do the
it.
the stale donut thing where like you leave like a thing of stale donuts out and tell the people like, oh, we're gonna have new donuts in an hour, and see who waits around for those donuts or who eats the stale donuts.
I'm just going to eat the donut. I don't care. It's a donut. A donut's a donut. If you put a stale donut in a
yeah.
microwave
A
for
moon-
10 seconds, it's fresh again.
Moon pie donut. What's the difference? A lot. I know.
There's a lot.
I know.
There's
There's
a
a lot. There's a lot difference there.
God, Caleb. Anything else?
That was whatever.
Anything else to
That
talk
wasn't
about?
terrible, but it was whatever.
I mean, I just don't like moon pies.
Anything else to talk about?
I can't think of anything. Is anything in...
You know what I'm almost done with? I've been binging for about a month now,
What's that?
and it's been a rewatch that I haven't watched in a long time, but I don't know. I got a hankering for it, and I was like, I'm gonna rewatch this whole entire series. And that's,
Parks and Rec.
That's Boy Meets World
Really?
on Disney Plus.
Okay.
I've been rewatching Boy Meets World, and I don't know. It's been a hit, despite a lot of it not being very good, especially the later seasons. Have you watched Boy Meets World, Josh?
No.
So Corey Matthews is the main character,
Right.
played by Ben Savage.
Right.
And there in the last few seasons, I guess I just never noticed it before, but he is just a jerk. My God, it's like he views like sex as like a reward from Topanga, and it's just weird. It's because they're like in high school. And they're only in college the last couple seasons, but that's when he's at his jerkiest, is when he's in college. And then I watch all these other characters around him kind of grow and evolve. Some of them get dumber, but they still like evolve. And he just like becomes like a jerk. So he is. I think this is where the Andy Dwyer, not Andy Dwyer, but Andy Bernard, a little bit of motivation for him becoming an absolute jerk in the last couple seasons of The Office was inspired by Corey Matthews in Boy Meets World. You heard it here first. Any Boy Meets World fans out there, you know, if you haven't watched the show in a while, go back, watch it all. And there's only 7 seasons. Get to the last couple seasons and realize how much of a jerk the main character is. Holy cow!
Speaking of sitcoms and things of that nature, Have you heard the controversy with Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher over the last few weeks?
I actually read the stuff that
Or the last few
I read the
days.
thing that Ashton Kutcher wrote for Danny Masterson. Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
Not good at all.
Not good. Did not read Milo's, but I saw Ashton's. It popped up and I read it. And
Did you see their apology on TikTok?
yeah,
they
I can't watch them. I get secondhand embarrassment watching any apology.
They posted an apology saying that their letters were meant for just the judge and stuff like that.
Well, I'm sure. And
it was about and the one comment underneath that just cracked me up. It was like, this is the apology saying sorry that our letters got leaked.
Yeah.
That's pretty much. That's
Not good.
I'm not going to get into that because that's a triggering thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
We won't get into like Danny Masterson's whole thing, but
Those letters weren't.
yeah,
Not a good look.
Not a good look. Not a good look at all.
I'm trying to think who it was. Topher Grace apparently is like one of the only cast members that hasn't.
Yeah, because Topher Grace doesn't like Danny Masterson. That's why he left the show.
I know Topher Grace probably caught a lot of slack for being like a jerk or whatever on set, or like too serious.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is that I think he's had the best dramatic career out of any of these people. Like, for real, I think he's like an excellent actor. So take that, Ashton Kutcher. You're the one who got punked today. Go back and watch some old clips of Punk. that show has not aged well. There's it's popped up on TikTok 1,000 times for me.
Okay.
And it's the episode where they're punking Hillary Duff. And I think maybe she's 15 or 16 in this. And Ashton
Seems
Kutcher,
like I know what you're going.
and Ashton
talk
Kutcher is
about
like,
here.
Hillary Duff is one of those girls that we're all just sitting around waiting for her to turn 18. And the Olsen twins too. And I'm like, oh gosh, Ashton.
Not
Not a good look
not
in your trucker hat. Not a good look. Not a good look.
Not.
But yeah, that's all the Ashton Kutcher talk I got for the day. Butterfly Effect used to be like my favorite movie when I was 14 years old. In retrospect, not great, but it did introduce me to one of my favorite Oasis songs, which is "Stop Crying Your Heart Out," which is a great song. But I think a bad album, but a great song.
Okay.
That song is amazing, actually. I love it.
We're going to talk about
Not that album because it came out in the 2000s.
that album here in a little bit.
What's
actually.
next?
Are
we?
I think we're to our topic. I think
Is
we're
it
to our
time?
topic. I know this was the quickest catch-up segment that we've ever
We didn't
had.
have much to. Well, anything that I would have had in mind, I just kind of got. It was a long week, so I probably just anything that I had to talk about. I was just like, I'm erasing all that. So
Yeah.
I don't even know. But movies coming out. I guess I don't know.
Not that I can think of. I mean, the next movie that is on our radar would probably be The Exorcist, maybe.
Exorcist, maybe. Yeah,
Uh,
there might be something else.
I
that
can't
I'm
think
just,
of anything that's coming out in
Yeah.
the next few weeks. Anyway,
September. So
Caleb, today we're talking about our 90s albums. They have to be, as always, one artist per year. No repeats.
no repeat of artists.
No repeats of artists.
In the 70s, Josh did a lot of cheats.
Did a lot of cheats.
Paul McCartney was littered all over that.
Okay, this one though gonna be a lot more cheats.
No, there better not be. I don't have one single cheat on here because. Okay,
I don't have a single cheat.
to me, the 90s.
If I have a cheat,
The 90s, call it
it was a
bias.
subconscious cheat.
I don't think this is biased though, because we were born in 1990. The 90s is we are 90s kids.
We are 90 babies.
The things that we know about the 90s is more so like Nicktoons related and,
Yes.
and stuff like that, and some of the movies that came out. I can assure you, not a single one of these albums did I listen to in the 90s. So it's not like
I did.
I didn't listen to any of these albums in the
I did.
90s. So it's not like I have nostalgia for these albums.
Mm-hmm.
But I just grown to love them through the years when I was discovering music
agree.
through the
I'll
decades.
agree with that.
So
One album.
I think the 90s is... I think it's the best decade for music. And it's probably just my favorite... I get some TikToks popping up that make me sad every time. They're purposely supposed to be sad. It's like a photo reel where you can like look through the photos on TikTok. And it has like the sad music playing. It's just showing you images from the 90s. And you're like, oh my god, that is
I
what
can't do that today.
That is what Doritos look like in the 90s. That is what Taco Bell looked like in the 90s. Like, oh my god, hey, what was that? What was the little Tamagotchi?
Oh yeah, the
Which those
Tamagotchi
kinda came back a little bit.
That you killed.
Very
Everybody
easy
killed.
to-
Everybody
very
killed their
easy to kill.
Tamagotchi at least.
So let's get
once.
into the music.
Caleb. I'm going to let you go first
Oh, man, me?
because You always do.
I do.
Yeah.
Do go first. Are you going to listen to me, Josh?
Yep,
Or are you
go
going to
ahead,
get
I'm
on
listening.
your daggone phone?
No, I got you,
Folks, the professionalism. I'll tell
Sorry,
you
I
what.
got a very important message that I had to
Not as
respond
important
to.
as my 1990 album.
Okay, what's your
my year of birth,
1990 album?
The year that one of the greatest films of all time came out, Goodfellas, has nothing to do with this album.
I was going to say, are you going to cheat and put a Goodfellas soundtrack on here?
Goodfellas soundtrack is
Yeah, we
full,
technically didn't make that rule.
I was never going to do that, though.
I mean,
it's full of classics from the 60s and 70s.
That's true.
But no, my 90s album is by a band called the Cocteau Twins. See, I even put the how to properly say this because I say it wrong all the time. Cocteau, like Cocteau.
Now say it one more time. Spell it one more time.
Cocteau. Cocteau. I got it without it.
Buddy,
It says cock.
I ain't heard of these people at all. So go ahead.
Well, their album by the Cocteau Twins, Heaven or Las Vegas, from 1990. I think it's largely considered the best dream pop album of all time. Listed.
And this is exactly why I have never heard of them.
It's listed at 245th on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
This album is beautiful, despite me not being able to understand nearly a single
word.
a single lyric of this album. You know what? Whenever I was first getting in this album, I was like, is this band like German or something? Because these words, every once in a while they'll say like an English word. Like, oh, I know that word. But then the more I listened to it, I was like, I don't really even care because her voice is an instrument and she sounds great. But and it works perfectly with the dreamy aesthetic of the music. The second half of the album in particular has some of the best bridges of any song that I've ever heard in my life. I really love this one. It's one of my favorite albums of all time, and probably when it comes to just straight up dream pop, you could argue that there's some shoegaze elements, but it's more so dream pop. It's not very heavy, not a lot of distorted guitar. It's just dreamy atmosphere. Maybe the best dream pop album of all time.
Okay.
That's my 1990 album. The year of I was born. I was listening to this album right when I came out the womb. I was listening to this album, folks. I was there day one listening to this album.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
I don't believe you at all. Caleb, my 1990 album is by a band that I also said was probably one of the most overrated bands of all time. And that is The Razor's Edge by AC/DC.
What's on that?
Well, I'll tell you what's on that, Caleb. Let's see. The album kicks off with Thunderstruck, of course.
Oh, that came out in 1990?
1990, September 1990.
Holy cow. I could have sworn that was like an early 80s song or something.
No.
They just always sound the same. So it's like, you know.
Same, dude.
You know?
And you know what the funny thing is? It's like, during the 80s, I guess it was because of hair metal and, you know, those type of hair metal bands and the pop music and stuff that was out at that time. They never changed their sound, but during the 80s they had like a downward slope, and this was the album that brought them back. Brought them back into the forefront.
Well, I guess regular rock, like also like sort of moved a little bit by like grunge. Rock was coming back on, like regular rock and roll was coming back onto the mainstream. But yeah, it had Thunderstruck, Fire Your Guns, Money Talks, Razor's Edge. Let's see, Are You Ready's on that album. That was a lot of the singles, but I think Razor's Edge is probably I would say honestly, their best song. I don't even know that song.
Yeah, you should listen to it sometime.
I don't think I know it. Actually. Was that Razor Ramon's theme song?
That was it. It's Razor
Was it
Ramon's
really?
theme.
Oh,
no, it's not. No.
man.
Jesus
Dang.
Christ.
What was it? Scott Hall's theme song?
No.
Same guy.
Same guy.
Same guy.
So, Razor's Edge by AC/DC. That's my
Cool.
1990.
Razor's Edge. I thought he was going to pop out like a Guns N' Roses album or something.
God, why would I ever do
I don't
that?
know. You said I said this was one of the most overrated bands. I was like, oh God, is it going to be Nirvana or something?
No.
It's like, holy cow.
No,
Okay.
I would pick. I don't know. Can we do that sometime? Can we do a versus and Guns N' Roses versus Nirvana and which one I hate the most?
I don't like Guns N' Roses really at all.
So you would pick Nirvana
easily.
So
I
I
like
would,
Nirvana.
So I would have to go Guns N' Roses, and I think I'd rather.
I don't want
just
to do
slit
this
my
episode.
wrist.
I don't want to do that episode.
I really
I
do.
don't like to criticize super successful bands that are millionaires. You know.
Ooh,
You know.
yeah. Still doesn't change the fact that. Never mind. Shut up, Josh. Go
Shut
on.
up, Josh.
Shut up.
Don't do it.
91.
1991. My second year of life. the year Beauty and the Beast was released. The Beauty and the Beast soundtrack. No.
Tale as old as time.
Yes. Okay.
Guest.
My 1991 album is Loveless by My Bloody Valentine, which they made my 80s list too.
Okay.
So, an almost completely abstract and experimental listening experience. It's loud and full of like tons of textures.
Okay.
That really the only way to listen to it is with good headphones.
Okay.
Despite it coming off as somewhat inaccessible, as you would think, it's still considered like the best and most influential shoegaze album ever. And on Pitchfork's Best Album of the 90s, this was like a revision of it that they did in like the early 2000s. It was listed at number 2, the best albums of the 90s, behind OK Computer by Radiohead.
Okay.
Which
we'll talk about later.
While NME listed it at number 18 on their 500 greatest albums of all time. That is high. And I do love this album. It's repetitive in the best way possible because you take in all the textures of the guitars. It's just like, wow. There's like so many memes or like gifs of using this album and people putting their headphones on and listening to this one. I don't know if you've ever seen that Hank Hill one where where he picks up and listens to what Bobby's listening to, and like it starts playing My Bloody Valentine song. He's like, whoa! It's kind of like that. It sort of like just takes you into another world, kind of. And it's there's nothing else like it. It's very loud. I can't imagine. I think if I were to watch this album live by then, my ears would certainly bleed. I think
Probably.
So what's your 91?
My 1991 album is, you're talking about textures and tones and things like that, is an album of reinvention. It is Achtung Baby by U2.
Yeah.
You knew that was going to be on there.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that I was looking at where I was like, Josh was a little hard on the 90s because there's some U2 in here and there's some other stuff, you know.
Achtung Baby was the first album after the Joshua Tree. The first studio album after the Joshua Tree, and it completely was a brand new sound for U2. It was a complete reinvention of the wheel for them. They went more into synthier guitars and more abstract layers of almost dance music, not as far as Zooropa or Pop would be in 97, which Pop is a whole other, we could do a whole episode on just talking about why that album is not good. Still like it, but it ain't good. Got a lot of great songs. It's got One on it. Everybody knows that song. Even if you're not a U2 fan, you know that song.
One is the loneliest. That song, right?
Yes, Caleb, that's right.
So One is on that album?
Yes, One is on that album. The album had, I think, 5 singles, and they all were huge hits.
Yeah.
Mysterious Ways is on that album, which is great. Even better than The Real Thing, Until the End of the World. And the thing of it is that a lot of these songs, the 2 times that I've seen U2, they have played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these songs when I saw them, the 2 times that I saw them. So they are still playing these songs to this day. They're getting ready to do the album in full in the Sphere in Las Vegas. Have you seen the Sphere in Las Vegas?
Yeah,
by the way?
Yeah.
They're opening that with this album.
Oh, cool.
So it probably will fit the whole aesthetic of what that thing's trying to do. So that shows. I think that shows the staying power of that record.
Yeah.
So Achtung Baby.
I'll tell you what's not on that album.
What's that?
Kiss Me, Kill Me, Thrill Me, Frill. What's the words for that? What's that song called from Batman Forever?
Oh God!
I just know the Weird Al version is called Cavity Search. I do like that song a lot.
Oh God, dude, it escapes me.
Kiss Me. It's like something.
Hold me, kiss me, kill me, thrill me. That's what it's. Yeah.
Okay.
It's so long.
That up. I screwed that up.
So long.
Okay. 92.
92.
My second year of life.
Oh my God.
Would it be my second year of life? Take kind of my third, right? Well, you start life in 90.
Yeah.
So one.
You would be 2 and
yeah,
2
I know I'm 2.
You would be 2.
Isn't aren't numbers
10
just
months?
aren't numbers just weird?
Numbers are stupid.
So weird. So 92,
92.
My actual favorite album of 92 isn't going to be the album that I talk about because I feel like I'm getting a little too shoegaze and dream pop heavy, and I want to expand. But my actual favorite album from 92 is In Ribbons by Pale Saints. I'm not going to talk about it. Nobody knows what that is, but
no, they don't.
If you want to get into shoegaze, I would recommend that album. It's very accessible and just incredible. But the album I'm picking is Automatic for the People by REM.
Okay.
To me, REM's greatest and most consistent album, no doubt. There's legitimately 3 or 4 of the greatest songs ever written on this thing, and those songs are surrounded by just wonderful tunes as well. Nearly every review for this album is perfect score with a 96 on Metacritic. The final 3 songs in particular set a high emotional bar for sincere and poetic songwriting, with those 3 songs being Man on the Moon, Night Swimming, and Find the River. It's like that is an incredible
That's a good trilogy of songs.
I was listening to those songs earlier. I was like, these songs are beautiful. Like every single one, like Man on the Moon at times can seem nonsensical, but the way it's composed is incredible. And then when you get to the meat of the song and what it's about, and I think Find the River is straight up like one of the greatest songs.
Not to mention that Michael
Stipe,
has one of the most unique rock voices of all time.
He really does,
and
he wouldn't be considered like a textbook incredible vocalist. But there's no one else. There's no one else that sounds like him.
Yep. No one would be able to do an REM song.
You know an REM song when you hear it.
Yep.
Or you know Michael Stipe when you hear Michael Stipe. So,
and as much as I hate as much as I hate to say it, I think he's very underrated as a vocalist because, like you said, he's one of those people that you would fit in with an iconic voice of you know it when you hear it. He would be up there with Freddie Mercury. I think he would be up there with Kurt Cobain. I think he would be up there with people like gone.
Adele.
No,
he not as technically savvy as like a Freddie Mercury, but I'd put him in the same ballpark as someone like an Elton John or like a Ben Folds, where their flaws as vocalists really make them what they are.
Well, that's the thing.
It really helps them.
I'm not talking about it from an actual vocal standpoint. I'm talking from
just iconic
familiarity of knowing who that person is. It's just that they're an iconic.
I'd almost say like more so. I think his voice maybe sticks out more than a Freddie Mercury. Because I've heard some Queen songs where I'm like, is this Queen?
Okay.
Whereas like REM, I'm never, unless another singer from REM sings a song with her. There's a few of them. I'm never going to confuse his voice for someone else's. So similar to maybe like a Tom York from Radiohead. What's your 92?
92. Shockingly, we have a Kiss record.
Oh my God.
We have
Becky.
We have Revenge from 1992.
You have Sir Mix-a-Lot. Baby Got Back.
Revenge is my favorite lineup of Kiss with Paul, Gene, Bruce Kulick, and Eric Singer. It's heavy but melodic at times. Bob Ezrin is the person that produces it. You know who Bob Ezrin is, I'm sure.
I don't know.
Bob Ezrin did The Wall.
Okay.
Pink Floyd.
All right.
Bob Ezrin did Destroyer with Kiss. It was an album that commercially was not a big seller, but critically it's probably regarded as their top 5 album.
Yeah.
A top 5 album. To me, it is a top 3 album for them. Very heavy guitars. Paul Stanley and Gene are just songwriting is just fantastic on it. It kind of feels more. It keeps with the whole Kiss. It's not sophomoric. I don't want to say it's sophomoric lyrically, but it keeps the party mood. But there are some songs on it that are like, oh, that's kind of deep lyrics on that. Especially God Gave Rock and Roll to You. It's a great song. It was in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure or Bogus Adventure. I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, Revenge from 92, no question. Probably top 3. It might honestly be top 2 favorite Kiss records of all time. So definitely was going to make the list.
Cool.
93.
1993. Let's get into the Britpop. About that time, be diving into the Britpop. I got Modern Life is Rubbish by Blur.
Okay.
While not largely considered their best album, I find it to have some of my favorite and most unique songs from them, making it probably my favorite album from them. To me, the album never loses steam despite having 14 songs, with there being major highlights in both the first and second half of the album.
Okay.
It's very likely my favorite Britpop album as well, and a major creative change in the right direction after their debut album, which was just okay. They did a lot of interesting things, and just listening to this album earlier with the headphones on, just the production on it is some of my favorite production. I guess it's one of those things that you don't recognize until you start really listening to stuff, and you're like, I love how they pan instruments and the use of strings and the way that the acoustic guitar is like always in like the right ear. It's just right there. It's nowhere else. It's just in the right ear, and it just works really well with everything else. Love it. Love that album. Love most of their albums though, so it was a tough call to make with which Blur album I was going to choose. So.
Okay.
What is your 93?
93, we're going to stick with Britpop, and we're going to put in Off the Ground by Paul McCartney.
Well, technically,
he's British and it's a pop album.
It is a pop album. So.
I say it's a pop album. It's not actually a pop album. There's a lot of actual like rockier songs on it. I would say honestly, it's probably one of the heaviest records he had post Wings, because there are a lot of like really heavy guitar driven rock songs, but there's still the Paul McCartney ballads, and there's still the softer songs and a little bit of lyrical nonsensity that they had in the Beatles and stuff like that. A lot of, but the one thing I have that the album doesn't have going for it is the track order, though. The track order is very heavily rocky on the beginning of the record, but then it's softer toward the end. But having said that, it is definitely an album worth listening to. A lot of fans are really decisive of it. It's either a love or hate record. I love the record though. So yeah,
any big songs on it?
It really didn't have a lot of hits.
I think so.
It had Off the Ground was a hit. Let me see. Off the Ground was a hit. That's really about it. Unfortunately, because there are some really good songs. Looking for Changes is a really good song. I Owe It All to You was released as a single, didn't even chart, and I think it's the best song on the record.
Yeah.
Wine Dark Open Sea is a great song that never, I don't think, even charted. But yeah, so not the best singles were released either for that record. So, but again, it's a love-hate album with a lot of people. I love it. I think it's great.
Classic McCartney.
Yep. 94. Go ahead.
My fourth year of life.
Oh my God, if you say My Year of Life one more time.
Okay, so this one, I'm not even going to talk about it much because I just talked about it just a couple weeks ago, and that is Split by Lush. If you want to hear why I love this album so much, go back and listen to the Desert Island episode.
Okay.
Because it was one of my albums that I would choose because it's like a top 3 or 4 album of mine. It's my favorite shoegaze / dream pop hybrid album. It does both of those things perfectly, and yeah, love it. I think it's very much overlooked as their best album. A lot of people consider it their second or third best album, and I think that it's the best, and I am right. Go listen to it, folks, and go listen to that Desert Island episode to hear me gush more about it.
So, my 1994 album is, as you said, it was a perfect album with yours. This is also a perfect album as far as I'm concerned, and that is Dookie by Green Day.
Dookie, that album is just straight up good.
It's just straight up. It is the Dookie, is what it is. I mean, what's there to say about Dookie? What's there to say?
Do you still find yourself gravitating more towards the singles on that album than the deep tracks?
No, I gravitate toward the deep tracks.
Do you? Okay.
Yes.
Because for some reason on that one, I'm still like, I just really like Welcome to Paradise a whole lot.
You see, and Welcome to Paradise is like one of my least favorite songs on the album. Yeah,
I really like that one.
Yeah.
Dang.
I would rather, like, dude, Burnout, Having a Blast, Chump, I could listen to those every day and never get bored of them.
She is on that album.
She is on that album. I think Pulling Teeth is probably the most underrated Green Day song. I love that song. Let's see. Sassafras Roots is good. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not long. It's not a long album.
Do you think Dookie's their best album?
No. You know that. Warning's their best album.
I think Warning's the best album.
Warning is their best
I think
album.
that. But, yeah, I would say Dookie, as far as like my favorites go, is probably my fourth favorite. Off the cuff. Here I go. I'm putting Warning at number one. Nobody else does, but I don't care.
I'd put Warning at number one.
I just think that it is incredible, mature songwriting.
Yep.
My number two
American
would
Idiot.
be, I don't know,
Really?
maybe Nimrod.
Okay. All right.
I think
we're
that-
sidetracking. Real
I think the highs.
Okay.
I think the highs of American Idiot is better, but my God, some of the songs were just so overplayed to the point where I still find Good Riddance to be way better than those overplayed songs on American Idiot.
I don't know, dude.
Dude,
I don't know.
American Idiot, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, Holiday, and Waking Up in September Ends. I have no desire to ever listen to those songs again. Whereas whenever
but
I hear
at the same time, though, Jesus of Suburbia, Homecoming, Letterbomb.
hey, I said the highs are greater on it. It's close.
It's very close.
I would say Nimrod. It's
Okay.
very, very
Okay.
ambitious. With American Idiot being my third favorite and probably Dookie being my fourth favorite.
Okay.
Everything else after that can go to hell. I'm joking. Insomniac will be fifth.
Let's see. Yeah, I'd put Warning number one, American Idiot number two, probably Dookie at number three.
Yeah.
Nimrod at four, Insomniac at five.
21st Century Breakdown, or like a Kerplunk.
No.
Okay.
What else is there? Oh,
Are you out of your mind? Are you
Father of All Mother
Shut up.
would be at number six.
I'm about to say, what are you thinking? Right? Like, there is nothing after 21st Century Breakdown that's better than 21st Century Breakdown.
No, there's really
there just
not.
isn't. That was an album that I was harsh on at the beginning, but in retrospect, it has some great songs.
It does have some really good songs on it. Buddy, we're forgetting about Shenanigans, bub.
I'm not forgetting about a daggone
forgetting about
thing,
Shenanigans,
Joe.
man.
I'm forgetting about.
No.
It's not an. That doesn't count.
No. 21st Century Breakdown and then Uno.
I'm
put
done
Uno at
talking
number
about
seven.
Green Day.
Oh no, Green Day's in the bucket, bub.
I know, but
We've got a lot to
waiting
talk
for
about.
that. This is that episode. I have no Green Day albums on my list.
Okay. 95.
No Green Day albums on my
The
list.
fifth year that you were born.
Now,
The fifth year of your life.
the year that I started kindergarten.
Oh my god.
So it's funny that you mentioned Green Day because this band is also sort of somewhat considered a pop punk band. I think that they are far better than Green Day. They only have four albums.
Tread lightly.
I think they're far better. I just
Tread
do.
lightly.
Sorry, my 95
Hey,
album.
ain't you that guy from Blink 182?
My 5 album is my 95 album is Dear You by Jawbreaker.
Oh, well, yeah.
My
Yeah.
my introduction to Jawbreaker came from the song Bad Scene Everyone's Fault on the video game NCAA Football 06 soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a crazy like indie rock, like punk rock soundtrack. They had like Lush and Pixies and NoFX, and they had Jawbreaker. That was the first time I ever heard them.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I delved into their catalog, and Dear You is still very likely my favorite stuff from them. It's dark, exciting, catchy, and an emotional experience. Its initial reception wasn't that warm, however, with fans mostly. A couple critics, but fans, but mostly because Jawbreaker had signed with a major label for this album, and at that time, it doesn't matter what the album sounds like. If you sign with a major label,
It's going to sound
it's
the way
like
they want it to sound.
they sold out.
Yeah.
When in reality, it's still pretty raw sounded. Like it's really their best production.
It's the best album.
But it's
their
still,
best record.
It still sounds pretty raw and not overproduced in the slightest.
Yeah.
Notoriously, Pitchfork gave it a 2.3 out of 10. Yeah, its legacy,
Jesus
but its legacy has held up very well.
Okay, so Pitchfork. We're going to sidetrack to Pitchfork. Pitchfork are a bunch of idiots.
Here's the thing with
dude.
Pitchfork.
They're idiots. They are clickbait.
When I want to agree with Pitchfork, I will. But then,
I won't
but
even
then,
when they're right.
But then whenever they do something like this or like Clarity with Jimmy Ward, I'm like, oh, Pitchfork, they're the worst.
They're just terrible. They have. I don't ever. Whenever I see a Pitchfork review, I'm just like, it's Pitchfork.
Yeah, I mean,
There's been many times that you and I have messaged each other and been like, look what Pitchfork gave this album, and you're just like,
I say that to then they give like the new Jeff Rosenstock album an 8 out of 10. I'm like, yeah, those are my guys. Way to go, Pitchfork. But NME ranked this album at number 1 on their 20 emo albums that have resolutely stood the test of time. So number 1,
because it's their best record.
I think it's either that or 24-Hour Revenge Therapy. But I just like the ambition and darkness of this album a lot. Like there's
Accident Prone, Chemistry, Jet Black.
Well, Jet Black, Basilica. It's the song before the last song, and it's probably my
Save Your Generations on that record.
Well, Chemistry, which is a little
Chemistry.
popular, but yeah.
Dude, it's great.
Oyster,
It's
every song
It's
is
their best record.
every song's a banger.
Yeah.
It's great.
There's no skips on that record.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So,
What's your 95?
Might be another record that has a no skip when we get there.
You know what the worst song on the album is?
What's that?
Chemistry, probably.
Probably.
And I like that
I would
song.
agree. I would agree.
Got into that through Bayside's cover of Chemistry.
Well, Caleb, my 95 record is a record that... Record. It is a Britpop record.
Oh, I already know.
And what is it?
Maybe I don't. I thought that was 94. It has to be What's the Story, Morning Glory.
What's the Story, Morning Glory? Definitely maybe came out in 94.
Okay, yeah.
So, a lot of people would consider those two albums to be the biggest 1-2 punch of records in history because there's not
In
one
history?
Yeah, seriously, because there's not one bad song on
Is
either
it because they
record.
don't have any more good albums?
That's very possible.
I'm joking, Josh.
No,
Okay,
no, no,
chill
no,
out.
no, no,
Chill
no.
out, folks.
No, I agree.
They don't have anything that would be considered like a
agree.
classic or like a great album after
No
that.
way.
That
Not
next
even
album is long, man.
close.
That next album is
I love
long.
Be Here Now. I love Be Here Now, but it's so long.
Oh, too long.
So long.
They were on too many drugs.
Well,
They even said so. They said it, folks. Don't jump down my throat.
Now think of this. Think of this for a moment. What's the Story, Morning Glory?
How many?
Has Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger, Morning Glory, and Champagne Supernova. Super hits.
In Wonderwall
Super hits.
is the best song of them all.
No, but that's okay. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
I'm sitting here looking at the track list right now, and I couldn't tell you what my favorite song on that record would be. Because I absolutely love this
I'd say
record from
that
start to
when you
finish.
say like objectively though, like some songs are hits for a reason, and they say in the best time.
Yeah.
When you say objectively, Don't Look Back in Anger is like is the best song.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would say that or Champagne Supernova.
When you say that's
but
like
the only problem.
when you say that's almost their best song. Like,
Here's the thing.
overall.
Here's the thing about Champagne Supernova.
It's great,
It's
yeah.
great, but lyrically, it don't make a damn bit of sense.
I don't think a lot of their songs do though. Wonderwall, that's
Don't Look Back in Anger is about the one that
it makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I think
all your dreams are made.
Oh, dude, I love
that song.
I love Morning Glory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, seriously,
I used to cover that song a lot. Yeah.
like the worst two songs on this record are the untitled excerpt songs
in Wonderwall.
that like goes that is actual like clips of another song
Okay.
called the Swamp Song, which is actually really good when you listen to it all together. But yeah, 94.
Best Oasis song on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. The Master Plan.
That's actually what I was.
Well, you didn't say it.
I was thinking
We were
it.
gonna sync up.
No, no, buddy. I
man.
have to think of stuff, man. I gotta think
Okay,
just
whatever.
a little bit.
Okay.
COVID's hurt my brain, dude. I gotta think for a little while.
Did you have COVID?
Yes.
Okay.
Back in November, where were you?
I wasn't around you, that's for sure.
Apparently so.
96.
Caught it at WrestleCade. No offense to WrestleCade. You all are wonderful, beautiful people. 96.
96.
I'm getting ready to get into some really controversial territory.
I didn't want to put this album at first. I don't even know why. I don't know what I was thinking. Be like, oh, Caleb, you can find something cooler than this. But in reality, no, I can't. It's
Okay.
great, and I love. It's definitely one of the most influential albums for me in my early 20s. And that's Pinkerton by Weezer. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
it's great. It's
Okay.
great, folks. I'm sorry. It's great. There, I said it. It's raw, aggressive, and even at times very embarrassing.
Dude, I can't argue that.
Very embarrassing.
I can't argue Pinkerton.
But it's I think it's the messiness of the album that makes it, to me, their most accomplished work to date. Some of the lyricism definitely feels of its time,
Pink triangle.
capturing the feeling of a young person completely frustrated with all aspects of life, even if it's sometimes problematic. In retrospect, it has essentially flawless reviews across the board. It's deluxe edition. It has 100 on Metacritic. So I mean, like,
Because it's great. It's a great
and
record.
and even the song that some people are like, I remember they did the Tiny Desk show, and they performed Across the Sea. And I remember in the description it said like, we don't condone of the lyrics in Across the Sea. I was like, guys, just let them sing this. The song is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what? It's my favorite Weezer song, probably. I just think it's fantastic. I just think it's such a lovely melody. I try not to pay attention to what it's really about.
Well, Caleb, I'll tell you this right now.
I mean,
Pinkerton was on my list.
I can't believe you didn't pick it. What are you?
Here's why, though. Here's why I didn't pick it. Because I knew you were going to pick it.
Oh my god!
And I didn't want to have the same album
I think
twice.
we should have the same album
No,
for once. We never. I don't think we
absolutely
ever
not.
have.
Yeah, we did. The Stranger. We had The Stranger in
Oh
'77.
yeah, that was it. Because you made it seem like you wasn't going to pick it.
Yeah,
And you did.
We had The Stranger, so we have had it.
Let's hear your album that's not as good as Pinkerton.
It's not near as good as
know it's
Pinkerton,
not.
but you know what? It is this band's
I'm
best
gonna dog
album.
it.
It is this band's best album. It is Load by Metallica.
Oh, I'm gonna dog it.
It's their best record. I don't care what anybody says.
best
It's their
record?
best record. It's their best
best-
record.
their best record.
It's their best album.
Oh my god,
Yep.
Josh! I'm joking. I'm acting stupid. I don't really.
It's
I
their
have
best
no.
It's their best album.
It has one of my favorite Metallica songs on it with "Hero of the Day."
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. It's their best album.
I'm not a big Metallica fan.
And guess what? It's their best album, and I'm not even going to explain why. Moving on. 97.
Here's what I'll say about that. Having heard Load a combined total of 1.5 times, probably, I know good and well it's nowhere near as good as Pinkerton by Weezer.
Well, God, no, but
The Hero of the
again,
Day.
I did not.
The Hero
wanna
of the
pick
Day is
same
really
album
good, but it's
as
also
you.
it's also like not as good as any song on Pinkerton. Nah, I think Hero of the Day is a great song.
I think Load is their best album because it is not a absolute balls to the wall. Let's
Kinda
see
slower.
how fast we can play. It is showing the actual lyrical chops of James Hetfield.
Which aren't
it
great.
shows the it shows the actual like that they are actually able to play instruments other than seeing how fast that they can play. They are able to be riffy. It's bluesy. It's great. It's their best record.
Don't like it. They got a haircut.
Oh my god. Oh, they got a haircut.
Was that on the Black Album or Load?
It was Load when they cut their hair.
Can't believe they got a haircut.
Can't believe it.
Memory. Is that Load or
That's Reload.
Oh God! That's Reload. What am I saying? Give me.
That's Reload.
That's Reload.
That's Reload.
What is on Load?
Let me go back since you don't know.
I don't think I like Reload at all.
Until It Sleeps.
Okay.
King Nothing, Hero of the Day, Bleeding Me.
Is it? Is Until It Sleeps the one that has like that weird music video?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Outlaw Torn's on that as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Does that have? Was that song called like Billy or something like that?
Ronnie? Billy?
Billy.
Billy?
Okay. I don't know, man.
James is like,
You know me, me in the blues rock.
97.
97. I think 97 might be the greatest year of music.
I disagree, but that's okay. I don't know. I don't even know what you're getting ready to pick.
well, I had a lot to pick from here, and I'm always going to pick.
There was one. The album that I picked was the first album that came to mind when we started this.
Well, it's definitely not my album.
This
so.
This topic.
Well, it's
It
not
was
my
the first
album,
one
so
that
I'll go
came
ahead and tell you
out
it's not mine.
that I don't own on vinyl.
I'm always
and that
gonna.
needs to change.
I'm always going to pick this album because, to me, it's the most inspired album I've ever heard.
Okay.
And very likely the best album that I've ever heard.
Okay.
I frequently, when I'm making like my top favorite albums of all time, I usually put this at 1. Which is weird because this isn't like my favorite band by any stretch of the
OK
imagination.
Computer.
It is Perfect From Now On by Built to Spill.
So OK Computer.
No.
Okay.
Perfect From Now On, I think it's better than OK Computer, but OK Computer
Damn it.
also in my top 10 albums of all time. 97 is like Either Or by Elliott Smith came out on any given day. Listen to me.
We don't have that in our topics, but we need to have that.
On
Our
any
top 10
given
albums
day,
of
if you
all time.
catch me on the right day, I may put Perfect From Now On, Either Or by Elliott Smith, and OK Computer in my top 3 albums of all time.
I mean,
And that's all 97. And Blur's self-titled album came out a little overrated, folks. I'm sorry, folks. You heard it here first. Little overrated.
Caleb and I both with the hot takes today.
It's not my favorite Blur album. I think it's weird. But Perfect From Now On by Built to Spill. Gosh, oh.
Yeah.
Whenever I first listened to this album, it opened my mind up to so many different possibilities when it comes to music. Every song is fantastically structured. Every song is a complete work of art, ranging from lyrically poetic to almost jam band territory at times, with prolonged outros with extended guitar solos. When it comes to guitar albums, this has to be at the top or near the top of my list due to so many distorted sounds fighting for the center stage at any given time of the record. The lead singer-songwriter said the album is a result of his distaste of grunge music, such as Nirvana, making the songs long and unconventional on purpose in order to prevent from being played on the radio.
Because that's what you want to do in 97, not be played on the radio.
Hey, you know what? It worked for me. That's all that matters. No, but a quote of his is, I didn't want us to have a hit. I was a little nervous that we might accidentally have a hit and that our music would be shoved into people's faces. But the album was recorded three separate times. He played all the instruments except for drums on the first version, but he was not satisfied with the results. The 2 failed attempts of the album ended up costing $20,000 to make. And the third version was the final product. I think it's probably the greatest album I've ever heard. And when it comes to Built to Spill, I probably only have like 2 other albums in my top 100, but there's just something about this album. They didn't release anything else really like this album. It's just, I don't know.
Nothing remotely claim close.
No, the next album after that is somewhat close, but this is just so epic. It just really is. And I don't like to throw around that daggone word. Faith No More.
What?
They had a song called Epic. Faith No More. So what?
You want
but you can't have it.
I don't like Faith No More.
I don't think I do either.
I don't think I do.
I don't think I do either.
Speaking of iconic...
I do love that chorus to Epic, but I don't like those Red Hot Chili Pepper verses. Where you might as well just be give it away.
Speaking of 1997, we're talking about the Red Hot Chili Peppers. My album from 1997 is Whatever and Ever Amen by Ben Folds 5.
Oh, that came out in 97. Oh my God, what an incredible year for albums. That's in my top 40 at least.
That was when we pulled 90s albums, that was the first album that came to mind.
Doesn't that album just like completely like
change your life after you hear it? Yes.
No, I'm trying to think of the proper words. It just
resonates?
It just feels like it feels not very 90s in the best way possible.
Because it feels like a college record. Like it feels like a college rock record.
Yeah.
And granted, we were only 7.
It makes me nostalgic. You know, it's a cliche saying, but it makes me nostalgic for something that I wasn't even around. That I really didn't even know it was. I wasn't even aware of it. You know.
You know what the thing about the record to me. And I don't mean this to be derogatory toward anybody as an artist or anything, but the record sounds smart.
Yeah.
It sounds smart. And that's a testament to Ben Folds, the way that he writes a song.
Yeah.
It's always in some complicated key. It's always in some, major chord or something like that, or a minor chord or something like that. He's always writing something in some complicated, convoluted thing, but it works. It meshes well. And... it's 3 people, and this album sounds like a whole band is playing it.
Yeah, that bass goes hard.
Yeah.
I think it has probably the most complex... Well, my favorite Ben Folds 5 song, which is Selfless, Cold, and Composed, is just an incredible piece of work. Yeah.
This is another...
War is great.
This is another one of those records that this song, or this album, does not have a skip.
What about that like minute-long thing there, like in the middle? What's that?
Cigarette?
Yeah. It's okay, I guess.
I wouldn't skip it because it's something short that segues into something else.
Josh, yeah, you're right. I agree.
I don't think the album has a single skip.
I do like every song on the album.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
I wasn't aware that was 97.
97.
I still would not have picked it, but it is top. It's one of my favorites.
Yep.
97. Okay.
98.
98. This is another one that was on my desert island, so I'm just gonna tell people to go back.
Okay.
But it's XO by Elliott Smith.
Okay.
I talked about this in detail on the Desert Island episode. It's my favorite album from my favorite artist. Of course, it was going to make the list.
Yep.
Could have easily chosen every Elliott Smith album this decade. Could have easily. That's how much I love the guy. Just love it. It's his first big production when it comes to like a major label release, and it just he makes it work. He uses that budget properly. It's not just acoustic songs; they're big songs, and it just sounds incredible. Moving on.
Cool. 98 for me was also on the Desert Island. Was on the Desert Island episode, and that's Double Live by Garth Brooks. Go listen to it. And go listen to that episode. Go listen to that album.
All these cheats.
99, Caleb. Go ahead.
99. I hate to end it on this.
Why do you hate to end it on
because this album is not available on streaming, and it's so annoying to me that it's not on like Spotify or anything. You can listen to it on YouTube, and I got it downloaded on like my iPod Touch because I legally downloaded it years ago. I may have bought it actually, but it's one of XTC's final albums, Apple Venus Volume 1, the most overlooked album of XTC's discography, partly because it's not available anywhere. You can't listen to it.
Why-
You can't listen
why?
to the dang thing. I don't
Why?
know. I don't know if it's like a distribution thing. I don't think it's on them. Like, I don't think, like, they don't, because all their other albums, with the exception of the Part 2 album, which I don't like as much, their last two albums are not streaming anywhere. Are you trying to find that out for me real quick?
I was going to. What was the name of the record again?
Apple Venus Volume 1. Yeah.
Venus.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but the album trades their complex pop rock structures from the previous album with a more orchestral pop sound, sort of like a Baroque sound, resulting in a really, really beautiful sound for the album. It ultimately makes sense why this album is so overlooked, because I believe XTC as a whole is the most overlooked rock band of all time, probably, with essentially every album them recreating themselves with a different sound and feel to it. So just really wish that one was because whenever we make our playlist, I won't be able to put anything on from this one on there, and that just sucks, because there's some really gorgeous songs on this. So did you find anything out for me?
According to this,
Oh,
now
my.
I'm going to say some names, and I don't know who these people are.
Okay.
I found a Reddit thread on Reddit/XTC, and it says, "Any hope for Apple Venus and Wasp Star on Spotify?" And the person says, "I'd have a parade in celebration."
Yeah.
One person said, "As long as Andy is alive, it will never turn up on Spotify. One day, hopefully a long way away, his estate will probably allow it, as it tends to happen." One person says, "I don't think so. I think Andy and Colin own the masters, and Andy is not a fan of streaming." Now, who is Andy?
It's the lead singer.
Okay.
But the other albums are streaming, though. I guess that might be the only ones that they own. So, he's a pain. But put it out there, Andy, for me,
So,
a
yeah.
fan. Yeah, that sucks. You
so
gotta
that's
listen to it. You can only listen to it like physically or on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's that one. My 99 album is an album, and I hate to end it on this, that you can go back and listen to another.
Marshall Mathers LP.
God, you're right, Caleb.
Did that come out then? I don't even know.
I think so. I think it came out in 99. Or did the Slim Shady LP come out in 99?
I think the Slim Shady LP. That was the first one. That was the.
Okay.
I mean, that was the one before. Right? That had
think
My
so.
Name Is.
Yeah. So I think that was 99.
Okay.
But this album, you can actually hear us talk about very in-depth on a past episode, and that is Clarity.
Enema of the State by Blink-182.
Clarity by Jimmy Eat World.
That goof album.
That goof album, one of the highest regarded albums of all time.
Not
when it
according
comes
to Pitchfork. Son.
Jesus Christ, Pitchfork are a bunch of idiots. Spend 9 hours talking about how Pitchfork. We should just go through Pitchfork one day. And
Well,
just
you showed me that article about Weezer the other day, but it was from 2019. But it was just
Yeah.
like so like out of left field.
yeah. But they posted that.
Yeah, they posted on their Facebook.
2019 article
It was
on
about
their
their
Facebook.
It was about the Teal album, which
in
I don't like,
2023.
but I hate when they do stuff like that.
We're
Now,
going to get the clickbait, folks.
now, whenever they reshare albums that are like that they loved, but whenever they like reshare like stuff they like really really hated, I'm
Yeah.
like, why? It's like they released like they legitimately released like a few good releases after this.
Buddy, that click traffic was down. They had to get something to get them clicks.
To be fair,
clicks.
even when they released a good album like OK Human, they still didn't give it a good review. They gave it like a 5 out of 10. So now they just hate Weezer now.
Pitchfork are idiots, dude. They're idiots.
Sometimes
They're
they are. It just depends. You know, it's not just
idiots.
one guy. You know, so I'd say there are some people that write for them that I would probably more so agree with. But sometimes I'm just like, what on earth? Like basically any Cursive album
They're dumb.
past like 2007,
They're dumb.
they're like all Cursive. They're just doing the same thing over and over
look
again.
at you. You get paid a lot of money to shit talk a band. Oh, look at you. You're so cool.
Now,
you get paid a lot of money.
Now, what about Clarity? What about that album?
What about, I already said you can go listen to the Jimmy Eat World
The
episode.
Jimmy Eat World Draft.
The Jimmy Eat
We
World
talked
Draft
about-
episode
talked
that
about
we talked a lot
Clarity.
about Clarity and just talked about Jimmy Eat World in general.
Now, what was your favorite song from Clarity again?
Oh God. What did I draft?
Was it For Me This Is Heaven?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, it took
Mine
again.
was Just Watch the Fireworks.
Yeah.
Was mine.
Yeah. So
I think that was like my number one pick. I think.
well, I think of all the albums that we've
Polaris was
talked
my number
about
one
here, yeah, Polaris was your number
Yeah, yeah.
one. You suck for that.
Well, you know.
Of all of the albums that we've talked about, there are a few on here that you and I both agree would probably be in our. No, I wouldn't say our top 100 albums, but some of our favorites.
Okay, I'll go and tell you. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, okay. All 10 albums would be in my top 40 albums of all time.
Top 40 albums of all time?
Probably. Maybe. Okay.
Let me get my list back out just to be on the safe side.
The only one that XTC Apple Venus Volume 1 is pushing it, it might be top 50, top 60. But and Dear You is right at is probably like in the high 30s.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with a lot of with quite a few of these albums being in my top 20. So yeah, like I said, the 90s is my favorite decade.
It's really hard for me to. I know Octung Baby Revenge. I would put What's the Story, Morning Glory in my top 100. Whatever Never Amen would be in my top 40, no question. Double Live would be in my top 40 as well.
These real quick. 1, 2, 3.
We're going to do. Okay, so
4, 5, 6.
I want you.
7 of these would be in my top 20.
I want you to keep a running list between now and January the 1st. Because we're going to go ahead and lay the groundwork now. Starting next year, one podcast a month for 12 months is going to be our top 100 albums. We are going to take 10 a podcast from each of us, 100 to 1 once a month.
That would only take 10 months.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. And then we can have 2 months of things that may have come out that missed
As
our
fun
top
as that
100.
sounds, I will be like recycling some stuff here.
That's okay. That's okay. But we're going to talk. Next year, we'll kick it off with that. We'll kick it off with one in January somewhere. Maybe it's the last episode of the month. We will do our top 100 albums. You heard it here first, folks. We're already booking 4 months ahead.
I'm sure if you have me on Facebook, you see this a lot from me.
You probably do.
I feel like every year I'd redo it.
But yeah, November and December we can always make it more interesting with some other things. But that's what we'll do. We'll start a running tally now. I'll start thinking about that because to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever sat down and put my top 100 albums collectively like that.
Yeah, me neither. Whoops.
My God, break my table, sir.
I had to make a noise after I lied the way that I just
lied. I can tell. Whose turn? Is it mine? I think it's mine because you picked 90s, right? No,
it's my turn.
Is it your turn?
It's my turn.
It's
now.
my turn.
Nancy picked 90s records. Nancy. Was,
What was before 90s? What was before 90s?
You were gonna pick something. Then we ended up just doing like the music trivia.
What was before music trivia?
Oh God, I don't.
Come
know.
on, Caleb. You got to remember that you have a better memory than I do. Jesus.
Meet Me in the Matinee.
Yes.
So it's your picks because you didn't pick music trivia technically.
Yeah, you picked.
I picked Meet Me in the Matinee.
Okay, so it's mine.
Yeah.
It's my turn. It's my turn now. Mine, and I will redraw if it's awful.
Yeah.
But you have
we've done that. We've done that before.
Oh God. Ooh no.
Josh,
No.
why are you making it so obvious for the folks?
No.
Do the folks even care anymore?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe they just want to hear a good topic.
They just want to hear a good topic, and you know
sometimes you just want to hear.
Why is 90s albums back in here again?
Let's do it again.
90s albums
Redux.
Whatever this one is what we're doing.
Ah, God.
Ooh.
Oh.
Caleb, we're going to go back to some movies next week.
Oh no, it's about time. Jeez, gosh.
Yeah, we've been on some music for a while.
Yeah.
Get ready
Enough
because
of that.
we're getting ready to rank Adam Sandler's filmography.
See, okay, I put this in here, and I told you that during that week
I have to watch.
You need to watch
movies.
Uncut Gems.
Okay.
Maybe a couple others.
I will do my best.
I
will do it. I will at least watch Uncut Gems.
If you only have time for one, put in Uncut Gems, okay? Because
Okay.
your ranking, it doesn't count if you don't have Uncut Gems.
Okay. Nancy and I will watch.
There's a few
Uncut
other
Gems
bangers,
this
but
week.
if you can't get them in, like if you can't get in like the Meyerowitz stories,
You
like,
send me a list, and I will do my best to get as many of them in this week as
I
possible.
might rewatch some of the old ones.
Okay.
If I'm in bed at night, like, you know what, The Waterboy, putting it on. You know what I will not put on? I will not put on Jack and Jill.
Bedtime stories.
I've never seen it, and this is similar to the Jim Carrey one.
Yes.
We can only rank what we've
We
seen.
can only rank what we have seen.
I've seen a lot, but there's
I've
still
seen
some
a lot as
There's
well,
still some
so-
stuff that I'll maybe only watch 10 minutes of,
Yep.
and I said no, and I'm probably not going to rank that.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
We should have a rank that's like turned it off. That's what should be.
This will be a fun one because
It'll be fun.
I've never seen a more polarizing filmography in my life, probably.
Yeah, I would
But
agree.
man,
with that.
the hits they hit.
They do.
They
do.
hit.
They do. Adam
They hit.
Sandler's got
Because
a
you want
few
to know what?
bangers.
Because I want to make you smile whenever
Man.
you're sad.
It's a
Carry you
it's a
on.
spoiler,
When your arthritis is bad.
buddy. It's a spoiler, but
All I want to do is. That's my Adam Sandler impersonation.
if so we're gonna do it the same way we did the Jim Carrey episode,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
a top 20, top whatever. That we have.
However many we've seen.
However we've seen.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
What's a spoiler then?
What's a spoiler?
Do you love The Wedding Singer that much? Joe?
Buddy, I love the wedding.
Man, I do too.
I do too.
I do too. Who knows where it's gonna fall?
Who knows where it's gonna fall? My
knows?
fault at number 2 behind
Might fall at number 5, maybe.
behind
four.
what was the oh gosh, what is the really horrible movies that they had? Grown Ups or whatever.
Ooh. See, I haven't watched those, and I'm not gonna find time to work those in.
Oh, hi
this
Nancy.
week. I'm not gonna.
Nancy, guess what? We get to watch Uncut Gems this week because next week we get Adam Sandler movies. Okay, she said okay.
She's
There you
thrilled
go.
about that.
She's thrilled.
She's thrilled about that
What is Uncut
anxiety.
Gems? It's on
that
Hulu,
she's-
right?
I've been wanting to watch it.
About
Oh,
that
there you go.
anxiety that's about to happen.
That's right. Caleb, where can people find us?
They can find us by typing in Chat From a Hat on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And if you want to email us, you can email us at chatfromahatcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, you can find us at TikTok. You're probably not going to see very much on there for now.
Yeah.
Caleb's going to start getting on the
I don't
TikTok
wanna.
and putting some stuff on there.
It's too much work.
Is it though?
It's too. I've already built a fan base on mine, and it's
my
just like
God.
if I could
Follow Caleb on
if I could
TikTok.
move all those over to the Chat From a Hat one, I would.
You could.
Is there a way?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Copy and paste them.
You can't do that. That's not a thing.
Save them and put them on another one. Anyway, well, folks, thank you for listening to our 90s albums episode. Next week, we will talk about Adam Sandler movies. God help us all.